Are we live? Are we live? I think we live. I think we're live, mate. Give me a hoola, give me a holla if someone's here. Because this ain't YouTube's new live stream thing. I've went in through the back door through the old legacy classic YouTube streaming thing. Because YouTube's just like, man, you want to schedule a live stream? Anyway, give us a shout if you can hear me. Give us a shout if you can hear me. Just gonna wait around for people to show up. I think we live. I'm gonna go and check the old stream myself on Internet Explorer. I think we are. People are showing up. I see peeps. Say hello, mate. Say hello if you're here. Because this is new PC. It's not a new setup. It's just a new PC. Greetings, Andy. Okay. Live now. We are live. Get in. Yes, mate. Impromptu live stream. Because do you know what? I've spent the best part of 3 days balls deep in grey gloss paint, glossing skirting boards, door frames, cupboard doors. I just want to play with some V-Red, mate. I just want to render up, texture up some cars, mate. That's what I want to do. I just want to get away from a paintbrush and the stench of gloss and sawdust and that gritty, stale, sanded gloss paint stench. And just chill. That's what I'm doing. That's the order of the day. So I'm doing about an hour of a stream. It should be open to everyone as well. There shouldn't be a locked down stream or anything like that. We should be everybody open to all. So I don't expect many people to turn up, to be honest, because I only scheduled it half an hour ago. And I'm mighty surprised this is even working, because Friday night's job was building a new PC. Oh, how I don't want to do that again in a hurry. New motherboard, new CPU, which requires the entire thing to be taken apart and put back together again. And where do the fan headers go? And different USB headers on the board, and what a chew on. Oh, you want to get your cables nice and tidy. Forget about it. What an absolute chew on. I'm not doing that again. I want a new case as well. The case I've got a Fantex Enthu Evolve tempered glass case. I think it's what it's called. It's a couple of years old now, which ain't that old really in the grand scheme of things, but it hasn't got USB-C on the front, which would be nice now. I've got, my external, everyone's got their own little portable hard disk that they carry around. I've had one since I was working back in the reseller. Do you know what I mean? You've got this portable hard disk, and that's your Bible. Everything that you do, it's your little toolbox. It's a computer guy's toolbox. Like a plumber's got his little bag with his spanners and his little bag of fittings and stuff. Well, this hard disk was my toolbox. And now it's an external solid state drive with a USB-C cable, and of course this bloody case has the USB-C ports on the back, which just is, first world problems and all that. It just means I've got to plug it into the back of the case, which is it's just a nuisance. The back of the case tends to be against the wall, and then when you try and plug it in, the USB-C port's like that big, and it's recessed into the case, and you're just fumbling around trying to get at it, and it's like, it'd be nice to have one on the front. Lots of painting. Well, do you know what it is? I was saying to the wife before, it's like when you get these nice days, it's been a lush weekend, and this happens all the time in Britain. We'll wait all year for a nice couple of days. And then what do we do when we're getting a nice couple of days? We spend the entire nice couple of days indoors painting or in the garden doing gardening. I mean, we can't really be out because we're kind of locked down as such. But even if we weren't locked down, we'd usually be either inside doing housework stuff. Think, oh, it's a nice day, I'll do the house. Or you'd be washing the car or something instead of actually enjoying the weather. So, hello, welcome. Right, I'm just chilling me like this is downtime. I want to forget all about a gloss paintbrush and just render up some shit. That's what I'm doing. Like, I want to continue on with that. I don't even know where I got up to with that. What was it? It was a Ferrari, wasn't it, I was doing? I haven't even opened it since the last stream, so let's get on with that. Everything's new. VRED. Everything's new. Everything's been reinstalled. I'll be mighty surprised if this works. Should be faster though. We've got 4 more cores, mate. We went from 6 up to 10 cores. We've got that Comet Lake 10900K. Is it Comet Lake? I think it is Comet Lake 10900K. Have I got Sizer on? Sizer's class. Oh, how I've needed this over my YouTube career. Just go boosh. Where's Sizer? There it is. Oh, I haven't plugged the bloody 19 flipping... I haven't plugged the right resolution in. Can't even remember how I did that. You meant to have a configuration of 1920 by 1080 and it's meant to make the window fit exactly. 1920 by 1080. That's on the to-do list. That's what it is. Every new computer, everything's new. Everything's reset back to all my audio stuff, rerouting mics and cameras through the streaming PC. It's all being reset. VRED, what are you doing, man? What are you spinning for? What could you possibly be thinking about? Am I going to have to hard exit you already? Get out of it. Scram. Bring it back. Hey there! I missed the meaning of lockdown, Boris. I was just saying, mate, that when we're locked down, whether we're locked down or not, on a nice hot sunny day, we're going to be in Britain. We tend to be indoors painting or doing DIY, which results in us wasting a nice day, which is what I've been doing this weekend. I've been glossing skirting boards and door frames and sanding and planting a lemon tree and a nectarine tree. And amongst other things. Because why not? Why not? Right. Where's my car? That's not where the mouse is. Right, there it is. So, all of these are all the VRED scenes that I've been working on. Not working on, just playing with. That's the Ferrari stream. So I've got a Jeep, I've got an M4, I've got another M4, I've got a Z4, LaFerrari, Bugatti Chiron, all kinds of stuff. Ferrari stream. Hi. Wow. I don't recall it looking like that the last time I exited VRED. This light must be casting them shadows. I don't recall doing that. Okay, well, it's explicitly being told to not cast light onto the shadow material, but it's doing that. Bye then. I know what I'm going to do. I've made a decision. At the moment, that's what we were doing, weren't we? It's been like 2 weeks since I worked on this. I remember the very first night of September. We when I say we, I keep saying we. You had nothing to do with it. It was me. I take all the credit for this. But I wrapped the livery. Where did that word come from? Livery. Has that always been a word? It is a livery. I don't know what else the word is, but the livery. It's a texture. So I've wrapped the texture. It's like taking a big PNG image and it's just sort of shrink wrapped around the bodywork. So it's not really behaving as paint. So I think I know what I was going to do with this. I think I'm going to go over it into Photoshop. And I'm going to butcher it. What does Sizer do? So right, mate. I'll tell you what Sizer does in a second once. Right, so you're going to see yourself for a second. Oh, God, no you can't, because the bloody webcams... Come on. No, you can't. Right, I can't. I was going to show you the monitor with the webcam, but it ain't going to work right. So my monitor is sort of that wide. It's 3440 pixels wide, but I'm broadcasting 1920 pixels wide, so it fits on normal people's size monitors. So when my monitor's sort of this wide, VRED's only like in the top left-hand corner of the screen, but it's got to be exactly 1920 by 1080 in size. So Sizer sets all my applications to be 1920 by 1080 in size. Because every single time I've literally since I would say probably for like the last 5 years maybe, every single time I've done a YouTube video, I open up Inventor, and Inventor opens up sort of like this maybe, and I've got to grab it, and then I've got to make it fit within 1920 by 1080, because my monitor goes way past that, but I've got to get Inventor exactly 1920 by 1080 like that. It's like picture a 4K telly, 4K, 3840 by 2160. And then you've got your little 1080p corner at the top left. That's what I'm broadcasting. So I've got to make the application fit in that top left-hand corner. So Sizer just fits it exactly up there. And I didn't find it till like 3 weeks ago. And I was like, where's that been all my life? And it was free, and it was just a little independent program made by some guy. I was like, who knew? Right. So what I need to do is open up potential new logo. I don't know. See, with a logo on the channel, obviously where is it? Where's my normal logo? You know, that little star thing there. But that's not mine. I kind of ripped that off the Autodesk Expert Elite program in a hurry. It was it was like 4 years ago when a company called Quercus, I think that's how you pronounce them, Quercus, sent me a chair. They were like, oh, we'll embroider your company's logo on the back of the head cushion. I was like, I don't have a company logo. And they were like, well, can you make one? I was like, So I kind of hastily put this together, but it was like a rip-off of the Autodesk Expert Elite logo at the time, and I thought, this YouTube thing ain't probably going to last that long. 6 years later, here I am. So the Expert Elite program stopped using that logo. They don't use it anymore, but I don't really want to, just legally, I don't really want to keep it, because it's just dodgy, because it is an Autodesk property, even if they don't still use it. They're cool with it. They haven't. I mean, I've asked them. I actually did ask the leader, like the director of the Expert Elite program. I was like, "Hey, am I okay to use this?" And she was like, "Probably not, but I'll check." And then she never got back to me. So I kind of took that as a yes. Nothing's happened since. New sub here. Welcome. How you doing, mate? Yo. I recently started a job which requires a lot of railing and step modelling. Do you think it's a good idea to model railing using frames? As in train railing? Like train track rails, is that what you're on about? Anyway, opinions on that. This is just... That's just the start. It probably needs a circle around it, or I don't know, like a shape around it, or some kind of swoosh around it. But it's just a font at the moment. Rails that you put your hands on while climbing steps. Ah, right, okay. So a lot of railing and step. Oh, step, right. I thought step files for some reason. Is it a good idea to use railing using frames? Yeah, it probably is, mate. It's probably the best way to do it because I think that's how most handrail design is done. Is you can control the position and the placement and the size using skeletal models. So you could do a 3D sketch or a 2D sketch out the center line of where your rail's going to be, and then you can just drop a frame on it, and the 3D frame is then controlled by the sketch, and it makes it a lot easier to control. So providing that whatever rail you want is a standard in the frame generator library, that would make it a lot easier. If it isn't, you can make your own. You can publish your own profile into the frame generator. It's a chew because you've got to author certain properties so the frame generator knows what properties it's got to map into the frame generator itself. But it's possible. So yes, I would say do that. That would be the best option. Frame generator for handrails makes a lot of sense. I don't think there's any other way of doing it. What am I doing? I mean, there's other ways of doing it. You can do it manually, but you'd be on a hiding and off, and you'd take bloody ages to do that. Right, but welcome along, mate. I'm saying that's how I was thinking your name's pronounced. Do a tutorial on dynamic simulation on Inventor after my Helter Skelter thing's over with, mate. I'm not necessarily. I'm no genius on dynamic simulation, mate. Like you've no idea how long it took me to put that Helter Skelter thing together. A long time. Oh, did that take me a long time? Wow! If you've had a go at that Helter Skelter yet, it's the most infuriating. It's like you run the simulation, and then you rewind it back, you press play again, and something different happens. Like, why? Or you try and create like a 3D contact between two surfaces, and it says, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And you're like, why not? These are 3D objects. Why can't I do that? And then you go to the help to try and get some guidance on what the hell certain properties mean in the context of what it's expecting you to do with them. And the help is just, it's like it's written by somebody who hates people. It's like whoever was in charge of writing that documentation just clearly hated everybody in his life. It's like, I'm just got no time for people. They should understand this and be as clever. They need to get on my level. So yeah, I'm not a genius at dynamic sim by any stretch. Like, that's what I'm after, mate. I tried magnetic simulation on it. What the hell's what's magnetic simulation? Never come across magnetic simulation, mate. Don't recall that being an option. Is that not an add-on? Played around with a bit of Octane and SimLab in connection with Inventor. Oh, that can render RTX. Octane. I've heard of Octane, and when I was doing the video for the laptop and the VRED RTX video, I was trying to make Octane one of the RTX benchmarks, but they didn't do I don't think they did like a canned benchmark for it, but came across it. One of them can render RTX, the other can link the data from Pascal's view, and there's a red core with no... Yeah, red core's like... VRED core is... I think it's their cluster. It's their GPU cluster option. So with VRED Pro, like what I'm using here, like if you want to link graphics cards together, I can link two. I've got two graphics cards hooked up to this. But if you want to hook up 10, you can't do that with VRED Pro. You have to buy VRED Core. And then I think that's where that comes in. I don't know what the cost is. I don't know how they work it. But I think that's where VRED Core comes in. Which kind of... I mean, it would be... it's, yeah, I suppose. It's unrealistic nowadays, like, to get more than 2 GPUs in a single workstation. Like, you can get Dell Precision Towers with massive chassis that you can fit maybe 4 in. But that's unrealistic. It's not normal for that to happen. So, yeah, if they're selling to Audi or, I don't know, Bentley or Aston Martin or whoever, and they've got massive warehouses with tanks and tanks of GPUs, then yeah, they need to monetize that, and the best way to do is to license it via something like VRED Core, which is fair enough. Which is the best laptop for inventor? Smooth running. That last one that I showed me on the channel. That's not the laptop. It's the CPU. Just anything with a CPU running at 5 gigahertz ish. It's not really that simple, but that laptop was a pretty good one. It was the Xeon E2286M, the Dell Precision 7540. The videos on the channel. What's all this black stuff here? That's carbon fiber. See, the problem with that, I prefer to use VRED's carbon fiber texture, but that's not a separate entity. Yeah. We'll export that. Drop them on the desktop. Right, so plan of action. Plan of action is to create... No, let's go into the asset manager. Why is my face all the way down here? It's better. Right. Asset manager. So this has got to be Ferrari red, isn't it? Is it metallic? They won't use metallic paint on a Formula 1 car, will they? It'll be... I'll have to change the pigment of that. Right, so red paint. Well, that. Yeah. Red dark. Yes. Yes, that's very Rosso red. I like that. What I don't like is the perspective on this camera. I'm going to knock this down. 25. It's better. Right. Read me, lad. Then what I want to do is go to my desktop and I'm going to drag that on there as a decal. And this should work because that's a PNG. It's got the alpha channel in it. So I should be able to add that to the material. I'll make it a multi-material. He says, there's nothing happens. Why did that go on the wing? Try planar. Hang a bit, hang a bit, hang a bit, hang a bit. What's that? What's that doing there? Oh, there we go. I love it when a plan comes to action. That's better. So now we've got genuine V-Red paint and genuine Ferrari stickers. Isn't it ridiculous pricing of V-Red putting companies off? No, good question. But you have to remember who V-Red's pitched at. V-Red's not really pitched at like manufacturing companies or architectural companies. V-Red is hardcore automotive. There was a time a couple of years ago, a good few years ago, where a couple of resellers in the UK thought, hey, showcases ended, there's nothing else going, so maybe we can push this. And there is V-Red design, which is, I say only, but it's about $2,500 to $3,000 a year. And I thought, hey, could probably push this. It does work, but the V-Red guys openly say, look, we don't know the first thing about manufacturing or architecture. We don't want to be in that world. We're automotive. The whole team that works on the software are automotive petrol heads. That's their background. So their clientele that they sell to are automotive companies. And $13,000 a year for a license, that's not a lot of money to Ferrari, to Porsche, to BMW, to name your car company. It's not. But to Bob's Trailer Company, that's a lot of money, but it's not for him. But even though it can be used in our industries, it's just not pitched at them, which is a shame. Funny you say that's about architecture. That's the way I may want to use it for. I've seen some people use V-Red with architecture, like they've brought in factory layouts, and then they've had like a walkthrough of a factory layout. But it'll work. There's no reason why it won't work. V-Red will bring in anything, any format that it'll support. It's got all the translators in there. It'll bring in most neutral file formats. It doesn't support Revit native files, but it'll bring in most translated files, DWGs, steps, OBJs, FBX, bring in most of them. And then you've got this massive library of materials. It supports substance materials, X-Rite materials. So it'll do architecture, but it's just the team that work on it. If you ever need support on it and you say, hey, I'm working on this massive building and the way the sun hits the building doesn't look quite right, and they'll go like, well, yeah, what do you want us to do about it? It's not really for that, It's pretty much entirely automotive. How do you get your dimensions and proportions right on designs? On this one, if it's on this one, you kind of hope whoever did them. I didn't model this up. This is a game asset done by a company called ACFL. It's kind of a stretch to call them a company. I think they're an outfit in France. Slightly shady, I think. But it's a game asset for a driving simulator. It's done in 3D Studio Max. And they model it in 3D Studio Max as close to the real dimensions as possible based on photographs and rough, not even blueprints, but just photographs, and then probably previous generation cars. And then when I bring it in here, I get a ruler like this, and then as long as it's roughly sort of in meters, so 2,000 millimeters, then yeah, it's sort of about right. Thing is with V-Red, that's where you've got to kind of detach your CAD head and your CAD brain. V-Red, like say Alias and Maya and 3D Studio Max and those kind of surface modelers, they're not parametric. not linked, they're not exact, they're not precise, they don't follow the same mentality as what we're used to. So there's nothing exact with this. Like the wheels probably don't touch the axle. It doesn't need to. All that needs to happen is when you render this out, or you put a VR headset on and you walk around it. It looks okay. It looks good. That's all that matters in a program like this. It doesn't have to physically be accurate, you know. How much time do you think you spent making this one model? Probably a good few weeks. Probably more. With the ACFL guys, one of the selling points for ACFL, I'll bring up their website actually. To be fair to them, like they probably very few people have heard of them, but they've got a dodgy history. But they claim to have the licenses to use the Formula One brands, but they don't. They really don't. This is their website. It's well dodge. So like they do a 3D model for every single car. So like there's the AlphaTauri car, and then that's modeled to it's not exact obviously because AlphaTauri don't go, oh hey ACFL, here's the blueprints to our car, feel free to make it a game asset. No, they just take photographs off the car launches when the new season starts, and they just model it based off of the photographs in the launch events. But they do a model for every single car, which must take a while to do. But this one here is the 2018 car, I think. But yeah. How do you make cash? I've got a day job, mate. That's what makes me cash. The day job keeps me going. The YouTube doesn't make as much cash, and that's what's kind of got us going with this membership thing. The membership program that's just been started is a drive to get YouTube to make us a bit more of an income. I've been doing it for about 6.5 years now, I think, on YouTube. And the YouTube's become a second job, and to keep it going as a second job, it just needs to start giving us back more than it has been. So that's why I turned on the membership program to try and make it worthwhile. It's kind of like it's the last hurrah really for me. I've tried all kinds of different things over the years. I tried the Patreon. I tried the Pluralsight gig to try and give this a kickstart. I know I've said this multiple times, which is new people on the stream, so I keep telling the same stories over and over again. But the problem with the channel, is the industry that I'm in. It's a niche within a niche. Engineering's small, Inventor's even smaller. Autodesk's sort of a niche within engineering, so the audience is small. YouTube struggles to push my channel out and grow it, so I've experienced really, really, really small growth over the years. I've witnessed, like just yesterday, I saw a piano. There's a piano channel out that I went through. I've got a piano in the corner here, like a little digital keyboard, which I thought, hey, I'll learn how to play the piano. Why not? So I found this little random amateur piano tutor, a bite-sized piano, and at the time she had like 2,000 subs about 6 months ago. She's now overtaken me in 6 months, and I'm like, what's going on, man? So yeah, anyway, long story short, the memberships is kind of like my last hurrah at trying to make this work, as well as the training courses that I'm going to put up outside and off of YouTube to try and make a bit more cash. So, but yeah, my day job is what really keeps the lights on and pays for most of the stuff. Right, that's the front body sticker. Right, so I need to do the wings. That's the body, so I need to go into Photoshop. Oh, wow. What is that? What is that? What is that? Why do you have a white background? Right, I need to get rid of it. Does anyone know what ambient occlusion is or shadows is in French? Is that what calc is? Oh, that'll be it. Oh, ambient occlusion is in English. What's calc? So carbon, I need that. What's that? Oh, good. Got that. I think that's it. Right. Ah, nuts. Export. Desktop. Wings PNG. Right, that's the wings done. From your experience, you only find good channels such as yours once you're in the bubble. Yeah, I know this channel is a bubble, but I realised that a couple of years in. Once I'd been doing this for a couple of years, only doing inventive videos, and the growth was steady, but too slow. And that's when I realised that you can't sustain a channel. I always wanted this channel to end up being full time. That's always been the goal for this, is to make it into a big full-time all singing, all dancing full channel. You can't do that just doing CAD videos, because it's just the nature of CAD videos. People search for what they want. You know, you'll have all done it. I've done it. You're in the middle of work and you think, shit, how the hell do you do this? How do I put a frame onto this piece of, in fact, how the hell do I even use frame generator? So you search YouTube and you find a frame generator video, and you don't give a crap about who's doing the video. You don't give a crap about whatever story he's got to tell, or what he's promoting, or what other videos you just want to know how to get past the problem you've got right there and then. And then as soon as you've got past it, you shut it down and you never think about it again. And I kind of realized after a couple of years, that's kind of where my videos fell into. About 1 or 2% of the people who end up landing on my videos end up subscribing and wanting more. The rest of the people are just those kind of folk that just kind of pass by, and then that's kind of how it is. And there's also an organic drop off of subscribers. People who subscribe because they've got a job or they're studying. And then once they either get a promotion or they change jobs, they just don't need that content anymore, and they move on to something else, and it's just an organic drop off. And you can't sustain a channel on that kind of stuff. So that's why I ended up sort of mixing it up and diversifying. That, and just generally just getting a bit bored, not running out of ideas, but just needing a change. I think I went 4 years, maybe 3 or 4 years of just doing inventor stuff, and after that amount of time, you think, I need to do something a bit different. Alex Brigden, mate. Thanks for the 10 Canadian dollars, mate. Dollary dues. Did you hear? Did you not get a jingle when you put that through? There should have been a jingle played. But thanks, mate. That's much appreciated. I think you might be the first super chat in a good long time. That's much appreciated. Much appreciated. Thanks for hanging in there for everyone, mate. I'm doing my best. I'm coming up with new ideas all the time. Like I said, I've got this training course. Oh, that's actually, do you know what it is? That's something I could probably bounce off you lot now that you're here. So, I'm putting together some training courses. I haven't started them yet, but as part of trying to monetize this gig a little bit better and to keep it going, I've done the memberships thing, and they're doing all right, actually. The memberships is going pretty well. But in addition to that, I'm going to create some training courses, but host them off of YouTube. And these aren't going to be training courses like videos that you'd get on YouTube, not like how do you use frame generator, how do you use dynamic simulation, how do you use simulation. No, this is like full on, how do you use the whole of Inventor? How do you use the whole of Vault Basic? How do you install Vault Basic? How do you install Vault Professional? Like whole training courses that you would have otherwise have gone to a reseller for. It's big stuff. So what I'm thinking about doing is creating a training course or 5 maybe. Start with a couple. It's not run before I can walk. And then hosting them on something like Gumroad. They're not going to be coppers. They'll be, I mean, if you look at what people host their digital work for on other sites, it's not coppers. It's got to be priced accordingly to what the value of the content is. So it's not going to be super cheap. And there's also the fact that it's got to, if I priced it like, oh, here's a course and it's $99, it'll be like, for an entire training course, for it's a bit crap, isn't it? So it's got to be priced based on the reputation the channel has, the standing it has, and what the expectation is that you'll get from it. So, but either way, I'm kind of needing opinions on. It's a lot of work besides your normal job, mate. You've no idea. No idea. This is me. This is just normal. Honestly, this is normal. But anyway, these training courses are going to be hosted on something like Gumroad. They'll be structured kind of like you'd find on something like LinkedIn Learning. So all the courses will be broken down into kind of modules and clips. And I need to know what kind of interest there's going to be in those kind of courses, but not in a, oh, that sounds interesting, oh, I'll definitely go for it. No, because I know already that a lot of people who follow this channel don't need a beginner's course in Inventor. I know that. A few people probably could do with a migration course for Vault. That's something that will be a lot of potential interest in. We need to migrate from Vault 2020 to 2021. I could probably do it, but I could do with a bit of guidance. Well, if I create a course on that, showing exactly what you got to do, potential for that. Certification prep, for example, in a training course on how to prep for a certification exam. If I can even get that kind of information, there'd be that. So, Fusion 360 to Inventor, something like that. Yeah. Udemy is a good example in Pluralsight, yeah. And I've already authored 3 courses on Pluralsight, which is kind of how I'm going to approach this, because those guys have got it nailed. Their platform is awesome. Anyway, the next thing I kind of need to figure out, and I need some feedback on, is digital badges. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but if you go to Autodesk certification and you pass their exam, you get a little digital badge from Acclaim that says you've passed their certification, and you get this little digital badge which goes into this little digital wallet thing, and you can link it onto your LinkedIn, and you get like a certificate with it as well. You get the same digital badge if you go to any Microsoft training, Adobe training. It's just a digital asset to say that you've passed something, and it goes right onto the front page of your LinkedIn profile. I wanted to do that because you don't have to be a massive conglomerate enterprise to qualify for that. You can be anyone. You can be me. I can sell a course and put a badge along with it to say, right, this guy's bought a TFI training course, and here's a badge to go along with it to say, not that he's certified in it. It's not a certification badge. It's just a trained by kind of badge, I guess. The problem with that is there's like a $2,500 minimum order on the badges. So I'm kind of, at the moment, weighing up whether or not there's going to be enough interest in these courses to justify a minimum order of $2,500 for these badges. And whether or not anyone actually would even give a crap about the badges is the fact that you'd get a badge and a certificate to go along with these courses. Is that going to make someone think, actually, that's probably something I could... Is that going to be the difference between not going for the course and going for the course? It's a bloody big order. It's a bit ridiculous, actually, $2,500 minimum order for a bunch of bloody digital badges. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So, what's my background? My background is, well, I'm not an engineer, mate. My background is purely software. So I've never been an engineer. I've never pretended to be. I've never said I've been an engineer. I've never taught engineering. I've never advised on. I've never done anything with engineering. I've always been a software guy. So back in 2004, when I was 24, I moved into a reseller where we just started immediately working in a consultancy kind of a role. But back then it was mostly just advising on how software works and training and installs and stuff. So I've always been software. I've never actually worked in engineering myself. So yeah, that's why there's never been any engineering advice on the channel. It's just not something I've ever been in. I'm the software guy. In Vault as well, data management for the last, I would say the last nine years. For the last 9 years, my main focus has been data management more than anything else. I've been running the inventor gig on the side on YouTube, but my day job has been managing CAD systems and data management systems mostly. That's kind of what I do during the day. My actual job title at the moment is digital transformation principal. That's job title at the moment, which is basically just playing with toys. Background is an Aston Martin race car. Austin Martin. I'm thinking Austin. It's an Aston Martin. That is a render. That is not this car, but it's the same ACFL game asset rendered in VRED. And the seat here. Oh, it's mirrored. I don't know, I wanted the seat for ages, and the wife got us it for my birthday. So yeah. Anyway, that's the score with the training courses. The badges. Curious for feedback on that. So if anyone's got any thoughts on that, just let us know. Because at the moment I don't know if like I'd get enough orders on the training courses to even break even on a minimum order of badges. Does anyone care about the badges? I mean, some people probably would. Bearing in mind that these courses would go beyond my audience. Like I would have to do some kind of targeted, promoted, well-organized marketing campaign through like the likes of LinkedIn and Facebook to promote the courses and the fact they exist. So there'd have to be something there to make people go, that's what do I get out of it other than just a download? Oh, you get this badge. Because most people want to... I don't know, this is just the boomer in me talking, like the old school kind of guy, but you go to a training course, you get a certificate. That was, in a lot of cases, that was the only reason why you get the motivation to go on a training course, because you get that certificate at the end of it. Do people still want that? Yeah, no, mate. Yeah, phasing. I know that the badge doesn't prove jack. Someone can buy my course, get a badge. They don't even need to watch the course. It's not gonna. The badge isn't gonna say this person is competent, this person is skilled, this person is in any way certified or capable. It's just a. It's more just a. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to word it carefully, but it's like more of an affiliation kind of a badge. Like to say that they've made the purchase, they've made that connection with the course, and more of an implication that they've had that training from me, but without directly saying that this person is or has been tested. Because I can't. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because that would be crazy. Can't do that. So I don't know. It is an ego boost. What's an ego boost? Have I missed a bit of chat? Don't know, mate. It is kind of an. I mean, if you're talking about the badge as a bit of an ego boost, it kind of is. But it's also using the channel's reputation to drive sales. Let's be honest, it is. The channel's got a really good, solid reputation. I'm just going to take. I'm going to take my modest hat off. It is well deserved. Pretty good reputation over the years for delivering high quality training material on Inventor. So I think having a badge with the channel's name on it kind of holds quite a bit of weight. And from speaking to various people who are in the industry within Autodesk globally, a lot of people. I had no idea because I'm not out and about, apart from when I go to Autodesk University, obviously. But like my brother went to Australia. He lives in Australia, and he went to some suburb in the middle of bloody Queensland or something. You had to get there on a bloody biplane. Landed in the bush, took a jeep to this hut in the middle of the outback, and whoever he went to knew who I was. I'm like, wow, how does that happen? Because my brother works in a reseller, like an Autodesk reseller, so he was going to an Inventor customer, but they knew who I was, and I was like, that kind of made this go, huh? How did that happen? Because the channel's obviously got a decent reputation and it's spread globally. The name's out there, so I think that having that on a badge kind of means something. So that's kind of why I wanted the badges. But I don't know if I can justify $2.5 for, and that only gets you 500 badges. So I could only issue 500 badges, and then I'd have to start paying for more badges on top of that. It's never easy, is it, mate? Never bloody easy. Oh, right, there's two, for some reason there's two wings here. Right, I prefer that one. The hell you can't do that? Don't take a tier 5 level test to get a badge. Yeah, I mean, obviously I've thought about doing that, some kind of test, but I mean, there's no way you can deliver a remote test. It's too easy to cheat on it. Like even the proper Autodesk certification tests. Like I don't know if you've seen what you've got to do now with the Autodesk certification tests. You can now do them from home. You've got to like send them a picture of your room before you do the certification test. You've got to like take a picture of your room and then prove that there's nobody else in the room before you start taking the test. It's stupid. That's the best apparently we've got in 2020 for proving you can't cheat in an online test remotely, is to take a picture of your room and then have someone spy on you through your webcam. It's the best we can do. So yeah, I'm not about to do that. So yeah, I don't think there's any way I can really test people. I thought I'd just put that bleeding decal on there. Oh, shoot. Decal. Right. So you've come on like that. And then we're going to UV. Oh, hell yeah. Going to shiny you up. What has happened here? Huh? Oh, it's shared the bloody. No, why would it do that? Why would it? That's pretty good actually, isn't it? It shouldn't have done it, but it looks pretty good apart from that bit there. Ferrari's next design. Can you import game asset from whichever game, or does it have to be a specific file type? It's got to be a specific file type, but most game assets originate from the same or a similar source. So most game assets start in 3D Studio Max or Blender, or some kind of modeling package like that, and VRED will import most of those files. Why did that happen? What's going on, mate? Oh, I don't know. Well, I didn't get very far with this one, did I? That's been an hour. Oh, future problem. I tell you what I got, though. I'll do this one. I'll fix this. Undo. Tell you what I found on HDRI Haven. I found a mint. It's not even new. They've had this up there the whole time, but I saw someone on LinkedIn put this HDRI up. And it's like a little HDRI with loads of umbrellas floating above, and it looks class. I mean, it doesn't look class right now because you need some shadows baked. So I'll bake some shadows. And they should be much quicker. I've now got those 10 cores raging away in the background. Let's get those ground shadows baked. Pop. There we go. There we go. If I got shadows on the car, did I bake on the car? I did. Woof. What's going on the ground? I think we're baked, dude. Yeah, we're baked. Mate. I mean, that looks sweet AF, that, like. Apart from the picture's a bit distorted there, but it's a bit of a chore trying to get the H. That's one of my, like, it's just trying to get the HDR to. Pascal, the guy who runs VRED, he sent me a personalized tutorial video showing us how to do this, and yeah, I need to watch that again because I forgot already how to do this. But I like scale this goddamn. Getting bendy. Oh, mate, that looks so good. Apart from the tires, I mean, I still need to put a bit of black on the tires. In fact, I'm gonna put a bit of carbon down here. Let's get some. They'll probably be metal black. That'll probably be metal black. We can do that. Metal black. Pop the chat out so it's. Car companies get their HDRIs from McGround. Yes, mate. I've got a few from McGround actually. And I should have. Hey, it's a little McGround logo there. So I've got quite a few from McGround. I've got like a kind of partnership with McGround, kind of. I got in touch with them and I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing these VRED live streams. Do you want to send us some? You fancy sending us some backgrounds, mate? And they were like, I can't really because our photographers, we've got photographers and they take them. But we can give you a couple of free ones. I was like, okay, cool. But you need to put a logo on the live streams. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I've got some McGround. They've got some really, really nice ones on McGround. Like, where did I put them? McGround. Yeah, I've got all the back plates as well. I mean, some of the ones from McGround are absolutely massive. Like the HDR is like, in some of the kit, I think it was like 3 gig HDR image. Huge. Like this one here is a really nice looking one. Like with enough time, like I couldn't do something like this on a live stream because this is the kind of one where the likes of these, preview this. Again, HDR like that, you'd have to spend so long just tweaking the HDR, getting the car angle right, but you could get a really nice looking image from that. I think this one here, the rest of them are sort of like bright, sort of daylight, up against a building kind of shots. Oh, this one's a beachy one. So yeah, I've got a couple of McGround ones. Is Q&A limited? Well, I mean, this isn't a Q&A live stream, mate. You can ask stuff if you want, mate. But Pascal for €1.99, hello, mate. I do a personal video on the circular HTML menu. Knock yourself out, mate, because I need that in my life. Did the jingle not play? Why is the jingle not playing? Did you hear a sound when the super chat came through? Because if not, I think I've been shortchanged, mate. Hang on a minute.
Thanks for watching the video.
I've been duped. I'll have to fix that. Every time I get a super chat, it should go, thanks for watching the video. Damn it. And it was you that sent... What an opportunity missed. But yes, mate, that would be awesome. If you could do something on the little pop-up menu, that would be awesome. Because that's got massive potential. Did you set the jingle to play when you donate at least $500 maybe? Mate, I'll get up and dance. I'll get up and do cartwheels for $500. If that ever happened, that's like... That's obviously not going to happen. But why did the jingle not happen? Because can you remember all the other live streams that I've done? Every time I started the live stream, there's been that little thing at the bottom that says, oh, this widget will connect automatically. That didn't happen this time. That's key. That's a clue. Where's that?
Thanks for watching the video.
I mean, widget will automatically connect once the stream is live. I don't know. I don't know why that didn't connect up. That's a bummer. Let's check this jingle out again. It's still not working, mate. Right. Stop. Right, I'm gonna add a new one in. Because this one's clearly busted. Extensions, add extension. Find rows. So this is XSplit. I think that was the built-in extension from XSplit for YouTube, but just didn't work. Why is not? So that's the YouTube super chat alert automatic. It's not picking up the source. I think that's why. What if I refresh it? I think it's working now. I think it's working now. For some reason, I had to. There's a refresh button in it, so it's working now. Anyway, it's working now. But yes, thanks Pascal. Much appreciated, mate. I can't even remember where to get. It was something to do with editing a front plate, and then popping that out, and then editing HTML files in a. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, if you can, that would be awesome. That would be mint. Right, what was it? Oh, hold on a minute. Right, what was I doing? I'm gonna put a bit of black metal on the back of my car because it looks fucking awesome. Metal black. Suspension. Metal black. I mean, this is cheating, just making everything metal black, but shiny. Bit of GPU ray tracing. Let's see what this is looking like now. Yes, speaking of Discord, anyone who's a member, I think most members have hopped on over, but on the community tab on the channel, the Discord server is there, so you can hop on over to the Discord server. And that's up and running. It's been up and running for a good couple of years, mate. But it's been for Patreon, but now it's open to YouTube members. Oh, dude. Like, that's what it's all about. He's grainy McGrainy face, but it's... I just like this denoiser, mate. This denoiser. Work to do. I mean, is there... It just... Actually, that does look pretty good. That does look pretty good. But you've got to go to the absolute highest settings for the denoiser to be. Daniel, mate, why is the jingle not playing? Unless it's on a delay. Did it play? Don't think it did. Oh, what a bummer. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. It's definitely connected. It's definitely connected. Oh, what a shitter. Unless it's on a delay. It might be on a delay. I've been watching other people's streams where someone's put a super chat through and then it's like taken like a couple of minutes maybe to come through. If not, don't worry about it, mate. Thanks. Much appreciated. I'll use it. I'm going to use a different widget next time. Fuck my life. He's never going to read one, mate. Do you have any tips for doing a 3D model? Great for mashing. What's mashing? I don't know what mashing is, mate. It's really itching my brain that this jingle's not coming through. I'll fix that in a future one. Meshing, so for doing a 3D model, that's great for meshing. Like simulation meshing? I mean, in Ansys. Not really. I mean, generally simulation doesn't like thin-walled objects. Anything that's got kind of like, picture a wheel with spokes on it. Anything that's got thin spokes is not good. But when you export something out of Ansys, you tend to have to prep and dress the model before you mesh it, to simplify it down. But you would never design something to simulate it. You design it how it is, and then you deal with it in Ansys. It's on Ansys to be able to handle it, really. So I don't know. I don't know why is my jingle? I'm pretty sure you guys throwing money at me here. But I don't know what more to do. This. I'm gonna add another widget and see if YouTube widgets super chat alert. Thank you for your support. What does that even mean? Authorized expert to use YouTube. For God's sake, I've already done this, man. Already done this. And this has got now to do with the new computer, because this is the streaming PC. Right, we're connected. Oh my God, this is the same YouTube super chat alert. Super fat what? Get rid. Oh, damn it. No, it's not going to work, mate. Thanks for the 50 knock, mate. Thanks. It's not working. Right, last go. YouTube widgets, YouTube alerts. Let's try this one. Super chat. Alright, that's a new one. But this one doesn't have an audio with it. Really? Someone give me $10,000? Really? Oh, for God's sake, this one needs to be authorized as well. Wow, this is so needy. So bloody needy. Right, we're authorized. Lockdown live stream. Are you glad you started a trend? I mean, literally nobody sent any through before this one. Thanks very much, Alex, man. It's much appreciated. Someone asking about getting models into VRED. Can you place a model from Inventor in that program and get a better render? Yes, mate. There's... Okay, someone's screaming outside the house. I've got a video on that, mate, if I can hop on over to my YouTube channel. VRED tutorial. This one here. If you just go to YouTube and just type in VRED tutorial, mine should be pretty close to the top. So this goes through bringing in an inventor model, which is that the jet engine sample model. Is this going to show me the model, or am I waffling on at the moment? I think I'm waffling on. Yeah, so that's it there. So it looks pretty average when you first bring it in. But then I just go through how the navigation tools work. Yeah, it's 53 minutes long. It's kind of long, but then VRED's got a bit of a learning curve. There's a lot to go through, and what I try to focus on in this video is the things that I remember getting really stumped with when I went into VRED, because you kind of expect it to follow the norms that you used to with Inventor, which it's not going to do, because it's not Inventor. It's not from the same background as Inventor. It was an acquisition. So yeah. And then bringing it in, and then making it look half decent. So there's a lot of stuff I didn't cover in this, like changing camera perspectives and various other, managing materials and whatnot. But it's something. It's a pretty decent tutorial nonetheless. Right. Okay, let's get back to my Ferrari. Where's the chat gone? There it is. Right. Do you know what? I think we good. I think we're good with this. Right. I'm going to turn off that knot. Metal block on there. And that is carbon fiber. Aero. I think I'll make it a carbon fiber texture. Ooh, that's nice. Nice glossy carbon fiber. It's not the best model in the world. I can see a lot of straight edges that should be curvy. But that's because this was modeled for a game engine. When in a game engine you do need like a low poly model. I saw that on this. I was looking at this thinking, something doesn't look quite right with this. And then it was, wow, this is difficult. That bit there, that sort of corner there on the wing, it's like faceted. It's not smooth and circular. And I sort of went to the model and looked at it, and yeah, it's not really. Don't know if it is on this one. Actually, that one is. That's a lot more circular than the Red Bull one. The Red Bull one was pretty facety. If that's even a word. Artifacts, yeah. Where'd that purple come from? Metallic velvet touch. Who did that? Who put that in? Pretty ridiculous. Really good. Oh, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Doesn't that just look lovely? I mean, that makes it all worthwhile. When you see the sun catching off the orange peel, the glimmer of the sun, the reflections of the sun, glistening off the orange peel of the Ferrari red. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Vettel's soon-to-be gone helmet in the background. I love it. I just love it. How would it make you feel if that thing would be purple in reality? Mate, that's what VRED's all about. That's what VRED's all about. Boom. It's purple. Ferrari having a purple car would never happen, mate. But, I mean, if it did, they'd make it work. If anyone could make a bloody car purple and make it work, and make it fashionable, it'd be Ferrari. In fact, I'm pretty sure Ferrari do have a purple, and it looks half decent. There'd be a Grigio something or other shade of purple, and it'd look pretty good. Oh, the single purple thing you deleted. Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not purple. I must have just accidentally dropped that on. Or should I just leave it purple then? You know, it might catch on. Might start a trend. Ferrari might watch that and go, hey, I like that. This guy's got the point. Hey, Benito, hey, like he got that at the point. Don't know where I'm going with that. A culturally insensitive accent that I've got going on there. Right, I'm going to load in some images, some textures. VRED materials. Mirror. Oh, this is nice as well when you get VRED pointing at a mirror and then you turn on ray tracing, and then ray tracing happens, boom, and then you get the car hitting the mirror. And ladies and gents, there's ray tracing. There's ray tracing for you. So good. So good. Purple tires. Jesus afraid. Yeah, no, I've got the denoiser turned on. I mean, bear in mind, I mean, this is ray tracing at quite a decent graphical quality. There's a denoiser being applied as well at super high settings, so it's not bad. That's two 2080 Ti's in SLI as well, but with the denoiser off and ray tracing on. Oh, I've still got anti-aliasing on. Anti-aliasing off. Boom, boom, boom. But then you get, I mean, you can't do much with that. The noise. The noise. But, I mean, that's the difference between GPU ray tracing. I think I did this in the, I don't know if it was in the video or the last live stream, but like the difference between GPU and CPU ray tracing is nuts. It's like if we ray trace this on the CPU, this is the 10900K, 10 cores. 10 cores. Probably 4.8 to 4.9 gigahertz per core. So 49 gigahertz of CPU processing power here. 1, 2, watch the little circle here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, that's 49 gigahertz of a CPU. GPU. Observe. Come on, you can do it, you can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the difference between GPU and CPU ray tracing. Mental. Utterly, game-changingly mental. How large are VRED's installation files? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. 3 gig? The download's pretty small, actually. When you download, I'll have a look. It's one. The installer for VRED is 1 file, whereas Inventor you get 3. So VRED's 1, so it's smaller than Inventor. Oh, it's 1.7 gig, but then it extracts to about 3, and then you've got the assets, which are 2.8. The assets is all of this, the asset manager, all the textures and stuff. So yeah, 2.8 for the assets, 1.7 for the actual programs, which is pretty respectable. How many GPUs could you stack? You can stack 2 in one workstation using a standard VRED Pro license, and then if you want more than 2 GPUs, you have to go for VRED Core, which is their extra node cluster farm license, which is fairly new. But yeah, 2 is it's. I mean, you very rarely get more than 2 GPUs in a single workstation, to be honest. Like, these days. Oh, so nice that. I've got a matte carbon. Haven't I got a matte carbon fiber somewhere? I thought I imported a matte carbon fiber texture. I did. What do I reckon of that? Matte or glossy? I think I prefer glossy. Yeah, definitely glossy. Defo's glossy, mate. Aye, that wing's being an absolute twaticus. So I think what I'll do is wrong one. That one there. Right. Clean up the materials. Multi-pass materials. So we'll make this body. Huh. Get out of it. Get out of it. Get out of it. Get out of it. Excuse me. Right, we'll start this again. So, body, add to object. If I got to add it to the object rather than the material, then I never understand this bloody. Right, multi-pass material. Let's change this to body. UV. Right, your crush. So then I want to take the wings and add that to the wings. Add it to the object. Make you wings. Boom. Yeah, boy, done it. We done it. There we go. There we go. Right, so, and that needs to go on the back wing as well. So pick him. Boom, da boom. Hell yeah. So what's Pascal saying? The installer's 1.6, assets, materials, HDR. HDRs and stuff, yes. Come with a separate installer, which is 2.7. Yeah, you don't have to install them, but how are you going to use it without the assets, though? You can if you'd have to be a pro already to not need the assets, because or else you'd be like, where's all the paints and the plastics and stuff? I would imagine it's probably your pros, your well-established clients that wouldn't install the assets. I would suspect. Reet metal. What's the Ferrari wheel look like? Ferrari 2018 F1 car. It's just silver. Well, that's imaginative. There it is. Yeah. Kimmy, you no have the drink. So how many metals do I want? What? Steel though? I mean, oh, this is a bloody baby image, isn't it? Oh, they're not that shiny. Come on. Get a grip. Who's photoshopped the hell out of that? Can I zoom in on this? Okay. I don't know. I know they've got like a little red anodized bit on there, but this entire wheel's one bloody huge solid lump. I'm not going to separate it out and put a little red nose on the end of it. Ain't nobody got time for that. So, what's a bit of steel. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I'll make it a bit of steel. Because it's... Sure. Actually, I'm pretty sure this one's got some stickers on it. So I need to go to Photoshop. Nope, nope, no stickers on that. Magnesium or aluminum. Doubt them. I know they're not made of steel. It's for the colour. Matte? Aluminium matte? I mean steel. I mean, so if you go from aluminium matte to steel, there's no difference. I mean, okay, there is a bit. Sure. Okay. Right. Let's see if we can beast these tires out. Oh, this is the tires. The goddamn tires. Right. The tires are a menace. So I've done the wings. Halo though. I've done the halo, haven't I? See the halo. That's the difference between. I want to get the orange. The Ferrari Formula 1 cars don't have orange peel on them. So we're going to go for the paint, modify, and then shinies. Oh. El beautiful. The tifosi. Sì, bella bella. Grazie ragazzi. Forza Ferrari. Copyright TM Ferrari. Grazie ragazzi. Right. Diffuser. There's nothing on the diffuser. Oh, hello. Wooden plank. I think I've put the wooden plank on the bottom. I put the wooden plank on the bottom? Oh, I haven't. Diffuser. Oh, I don't care about the diffuser. So I'll just go to data, cars, Ferrari, diffuser, DDS. Oh, this is in the bloody shadow, isn't it? It's underneath, so it's a baked dude. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, I mean, it's under the car. I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's under the car. You can't even see it. But you've got to pay attention to those kind of details because it's the devil's in the detail. Right. Right, as I was saying, the tyres. Right. Should we go for purple? Left tyre and right tyre. It makes the car, what, the plank makes the car more stable. No, I think that is, it's for when the car clips the ground. I think that's what it does. The diffuser is, which, that's actually a diffuser. I don't know why they've called that a diffuser, because that's not the diffuser, that's the plank. And that hits the ground, it's to stop the actual floor, the track, making contact with the bottom of the car. And that's what causes the sparks that fly out the back of the car. But I don't know why they've called it the diffuser texture. How does the UV map work on Inventor files? Inventor doesn't have UV mapping, unfortunately. Yeah, you can't do UV mapping with Inventor files. It's just not a thing. Shall I just wrap this like that, or can I actually do some Photoshop? I'm useless at Photoshop. How do we do this? Do I duplicate it? And then delete. Whoa. Okay, that went better than I expected. How do I make the background just transparent? Oh, crap. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm absolutely hopeless at Photoshop. I hate Photoshop. I mean, I don't. It's a brilliant program. I'm just flipping useless at it. Like, genuinely useless at it. Oh. Okay. Right, Control D, deselect. This is very low res. I'm actually surprised Photoshop's even picking up these bits that I'm trying to delete. It's doing a pretty good job of knowing what I'm trying to delete, so I'm impressed with that. What these bits are here. You got pennies, but no pounds. Oh shit. Delete. Delete. Of course, when I bring this in, this is not going to work. Because I think I've just obliterated any UV mapping possibilities here. PNG desktop. When important Inventor files, you can unwrap them in VRED. Nibs data is kept. What do you mean you can unwrap Inventor files in VRED? What's this sorcery you're talking about? Explain yourself, Pascal. Unwrapping Inventor files, what does that mean? You mean unwrap the texture from an Inventor? Why would you want to unwrap a texture file from Inventor? The crap. You'd want to get rid of anything Inventor brings in. Because it's shit. Decal. You got pennies, but no. I've got a song. I don't even know what song it is, but it's that. You open your mouth, you Boulder Dash. That didn't work, did it? Bowls. I'm never going to get this center. I could try and try and try and try and try and try. Nothing is going to get this center. Pascal, how do I make it so that this stupid cube is always set to that? And who thought it was a good idea for it to not be that? Why, mate? Why would you want that? I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating, but it's usually like that. That's migraine-inducingly thick. There's tons. You're trying to manipulate your image, and you've got this stupid, thick, workplane-y cube in the way. Like, I can't see. And obviously you can turn it off, but like, why would you want that there? I don't know. I'm sure you've got a good reason for it. I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. But it's just infuriating. Why am I asking Pascal? Because he makes this program. He runs this show. He's the gaffer of VRED. Oh, that looks absolutely gash. I mean, it might look better once I bring the tire in, but it just doesn't look right. Tell you what, I'm going to get rid of. Right, I'm going to leave. I'll leave you on there, and then I'm going to go to the right side. I'm going to see what it looks like when I bring the proper tire in. Ferrari tire righty tighty. Add the object as a decal. It's a team effort. It's a dog. Turn it in. Two of the company lines. Team effort. It's not just one man. It's a team. I know it's a team effort. Why is this? Why does troll me? UV. Repeat. It obviously doesn't like this UV. So, with that being said, I think I need to get another tire texture from another car, and that would be El Red Bull. In El Red Bull, I think the Red Bull has a different tire. Why have I got no flipping thumbnails? That's most inconvenient. Not gonna lie. Mercedes. That one might help. That one might work. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Oh, come on! Wow. I thought. Ooh. Ooh. So, that's what it should look like. So the question is, that's interesting. Of course it is. So that's UV mapped. So the P, if you look, the P's straight because it's properly UV mapped. But when I've brought it in on the other side and I've just stamped it on, the P's gone. Yeah. That don't look good. That doesn't do anything. Clamp. I don't even know what these settings do. I don't even know what these settings do. I'm just clicking stuff. Decal. No. Mirrored. No. I mean, I do know what they do. I know what repeat does, but triplane is not going to do it. UV. I screwed the UV up. I done screwed the UV up when I deleted the rest of it. The problem is, it's the same as the paint. It's because now the tire itself is going to be coloured the image instead of having a proper V-red tire texture. Which, Neil, does Patreon give you a greater share? It does, mate. Yeah, Patreon gave me everything. YouTube takes 30% of everything. But Patreon didn't work. Already, today, I've got more YouTube members than I had Patreon over. If I added up how many people followed me on Patreon over 3 years, I've now already got more members on YouTube after like 2 weeks. I just think people didn't like the idea of going to Patreon. It was like, I don't know what that is. I don't understand it. Even though you can make videos explaining this stuff, but if someone doesn't catch that video and then hears about what it is later on and just hears the word, I don't think the penny doesn't drop and they don't know that that video exists, and you've got to beat the drum constantly, and I can't do that. I hate that, so it just didn't work. Whereas with YouTube, it's just like, hey, join down there, we'll support the channel, there's a button just down there. It kind of works a lot better than, oh, hey, Patreon, different website, go all the way over there. People are like, whoa, what's that? So, but yeah, Patreon was 100%. YouTube takes 30% of everything, which sucks because their flipping back end is awful. They need to work on that. Like the support desk live stream that I'm doing, I've had to change it because here's a thing that you would never have guessed. You can't just stream to members and send them a notification. Here's the thing: you can't just release videos and put them in the subs feed of members. They just haven't figured out how to do it yet. But no, they're happy to take 30% of everything if you've got memberships running. That's a YouTube for you. I don't really want. I don't really want to put the tire texture on this either, which is that one there. See, that's the tire texture. If we UV that and repeat it, it looks like that. I mean, that looks like a tire. You think it looks like a tire, but it's a picture of a tire. It's not a true material. So when you ray trace it, it'll probably look alright, but it just doesn't, it just won't behave like a tyre. It doesn't have the material attributes of a tyre. But I think for this purpose, the purposes of this is probably fine. Whereas like that, actually that looks a bit extreme. I can't even, how did I do that? I'll have to open up this model and figure out how I actually did that, because that there, you can't even see that, but that image on that tyre there is the same as that there. It's the same image. I must have figured out how to take it separate and then put like its own little glossy map on it. I don't know. Anyway. So we'll go rear. Oh, can we use this for the front as well? So tyre tread. Let's see if I can put that there, and then you put you there. Tyre tread there. Don't think this is going to work for the front tyres. Well, cut my legs off and call me shorty if it did work. Boom, boom, and then boom. Mate. Formula 1 car. Formula 1 car. T-cam. Right, we've got a T-cam texture. I'm going to drop him on that. Wrap UV that bad lad around there. It's probably be a bit shiny, won't it? Be a bit of reflectivity on that. Yes, I like. How many people are still here? Still 20 here. Not bad, mate. Not bad. Not bad. It's getting late. It's getting late. I've been going for 2 hours. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can. If I know, I'm not going to map the LEDs onto that. I think we'll save this. We'll get some good shots of it, and then I'll have a bit of natter with you lot, and then we'll lock it. I can hear the cat scratching at the door. The cat's kicking off because the cat's food bowl is in this room, and the door's shut. I think the cat's none too happy with me. Oh, I tell you what's good when you do this. This is. You can see on this. Can you see on this picture? Yeah, a little bit of glow at the back there. You put a bit of LED on that. It's not KERS, what is it? It's not the kinetic energy recovery system. I can't remember what they call it. But it's when they charge the batteries. When the light glows up when they're charging the batteries. Now we'll do that in the next one. We'll do that in the next one. It'll take bloody ages. It's not the brake drums. They'll probably be carbon. No, they'll be ceramic, won't they? Ah, you can't even see them. So let's make the metal black. And then I think in the next stream I'll do Seb's steering wheel. We'll get his screen on, we'll get all these are the rev lights and all that, we'll get him lit up. Oh, he's looking good, like. He's looking good. He's looking good. Right, let's get a bit of brightness in here, so we'll increase this up a little bit. 4. White balance down a little bit. Contrast 5. Oof, too much. Too much. We'll do saturation 1.5. Nah, too much. 1.2. Reflected. 1.1. Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Looking good, mate. Looking good. That's not looking good. That's looking awful. But out of sight, out of mind. You. You see a lot of follow-up private tutorials. Mate, fire them through, fire them through. See, every time, Pascal, every time you send us a video through, even just watching a video or a LinkedIn post or something that you guys do, I always pick up something that you think is nothing. You just think it's routine, but I go, I didn't even know you could do that. And then I pick it up and it's just, remember that. Like that Porsche video, the Taycan video, just watching stuff in that, going, that's class. I need to know how to do that. In general, there's barely any quality content on VRED and Alias on YouTube. Well, I mean, Pascal probably know better than anyone whether or not they even needed it. Has there been a demand for it at all? I don't know. They know their market. Does their market even need it? Is it a bubble where they've got what they need? It's not like a mass-produced product where it's out there and it's millions, and there's people just itching for free content. So I just don't know if it's I don't know if it's something that en masse tons of people would have needed videos on. I mean, yeah, fair enough. If you do, I just think en masse. Over the years, I don't know. Pascal Inventor does have a pretty good tutorial tool, but actually you could probably do something here, mate. Right? I don't know if you right. I'll show you it, mate. Right, whilst you're here. Inventor's tutorial tool. Somebody's obviously put a lot of work into this. How easy it would be to weave your own tutorials into this, I don't know. But mate, they've done a pretty good job of this. So I'll show you this. I mean, you might, I don't know if you've seen it already, you might be well aware of it, I don't know, but they've got this tutorial gallery, and it's all built in, it's all like integrated tutorials in Inventor, and then as you're going through the tutorial, it'll open the files, and then it like points arrows and stuff into the ribbon bars, and then opens the next bit. It kind of tells you where to go. So like, there's the file open. It's like, right, task 1, do your thing. And then, does it pop an arrow when you start a sketch? Look at the little arrows pointing where you got to click, and look at that. It's all integrated into the. And if they are outdated because the software changed, it's obviously, I would suspect, well, I mean, saying obviously, I have no idea, but you would hope it's someone's job to keep on top of them if the software changes, to go through the tutorials and make sure that it's updated all the time. I would expect anyway. It'd be amateur hour if they updated the ribbon bars and all the tutorials were out of date. I mean, that wouldn't look good. Where's your dark theme, mate? Yeah, no, I've just, it's a new build. I reinstalled this PC the weekend. Haven't got around to changing to dark. My eyes blinded by the light. But yeah, that is an impressive integrated tutorial experience. Is good, yeah, is good. In Inventor, it will not show you tutorials newer than the version you are using. But then they'd have to redo the tutorials for every. It would have to be someone's job to go through every tutorial to make sure it's still perfectly functional for the next version. So if they did a ribbon bar shuffle for 2022 and the arrow points to it needs to be moved 20 pixels along, someone would have to go and check, wouldn't they? You know, even if the tutorial's still valid, someone would have to check that. I'm pretty sure that they're more than capable of having someone employed to do that. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure somebody exists with an Autodesk to do that. They've got plenty of people doing much less useful things than that. If you look at some of the people in there, I don't know what half of them do. Say no more. Say no more. Right. Cameras. Bit of depth of field, mate. Let's get a bit of bokeh kicking off here, because we love a bokeh. We love a bokeh physical camera. ISO 100. Stop. Oh, Seb, mate, you're looking good. You're looking dapper. I know when I was testing, my test got deleted because the content of my test was rubbish. Don't forget to save your work from time to time. Check. Check. Roger that. Good advice there. Seb's looking pretty good, like. That's another thing I need to figure out, mate. Alright, I'm using a physical camera. If I was using a physical camera, right, and I was stood this far away from that car, and I had an f-stop of 1, that background should be way more blown out than that. But then I haven't got I know I haven't got physical parameters enabled yet. So I'm probably way off. A photo. Sorry, Pascal, what did Michael say I needed to click? He said, do not click something here and always click something. Which one do you click here? And if that's the case, why if there's an option here that you're never meant to click, why is it still there? Click adjust values. Right, okay. Thank you. And then I've got to turn off clamping. And then go into realistic. Wow. Blown out much. I think this probably is because my camera's... Yeah, it is. That's more like it. That's more like it. Yeah, if I was outdoors with a physical camera and I put the f-stop down to like 2, it would be way blown out. What's them filters called where I've got one for the camera where it's like an N something filter. You put it over the lens and it blocks out the rays. And I can't remember. Can I put one of them on? Obviously not. So how do I blow the background out without it being ridiculously exposed? Do I have to cheat this? Do I have to give it a really low shutter speed or a high shutter speed? Go to the first tab of the camera, enable depth of field. I've done that, mate. Enable depth of field. F-stop 2. Depth of field's enabled. Anti-aliasing's enabled. The focal distance is the tire. But the background ain't no blurred out. But I don't know. That's what a nice blown out background shot. I've done it before. It's just so you've just sometimes got to put in unrealistic camera settings to get it to blow out. But I think it's because my physical dome is quite small. It's probably to do with that. Maybe it's because the dome's quite small. If I increase the size of the dome, is that going to make a difference? Let's scale the dome up. No. If you go closer to something small like the helmet. Yeah. Depth of field. So yeah, that's, I mean, it's blown out the background there, but I want to blow out I want to focus on the car and blow out the background. And maybe it's just, I mean, you should be able to do that with a physical camera. Unless you've just got to put in a ridiculous f-stop. That's not going to work. X-roll cameras, yeah. No, it's just it's just way blown out exposure. I don't know. I mean, ISO. No. Huh. What's going on with that? Why does the exposure change when you go into GPU ray tracing and then OpenGL? What's occurring with that? Why is ISO a thing in digital render? It's because it's trying to reproduce how a physical camera would perform or behave. So it's as if you were taking a picture with a physical camera. And so in theory, if you were stood outside and you set your camera to be f-stop 8 and then shutter speed 100, ISO 100, that should be the same light settings as you would get in real life. But with this, you've also got to mix in things like exposure values on the actual environment and stuff. So it's just... So you're introducing artificial noise. Well, I don't think it actually creates any noise, because it's not. You're not getting the same kind of. It isn't a camera lens in taking light into a lens through glass. It's not, so you're not getting that noise. But you will just get massive amounts of exposure or dark scenes like this. So like if that was a physical camera, you would get noise with that. But because it's not a physical camera, you're not going to get noise, you're just going to get a dark scene. Right. I'm just curious as to why is that happening? Why does it go dark and then light when ray tracing happens? I don't have any physical lights in here. Nope. Ooh, getting there. Shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted. That's the money shot. I mean, I think I've got the f-stop so out of whack. I think the car itself's getting a bit blurred, but that's what I mean. That's a ridiculous camera. I mean, like, what, shutter speed 5,000? I mean, that's like 5. Is that 5? Would that be 5 seconds? That'd be a 5-second shutter speed. I don't know how it works it out in this, but that's looking pretty dapper. So let's go into render settings. Let's crank these things. What have I got my render settings set to? Full global illumination. 3 samples for still frame sampling. 3 for reflection. 32. 512. So from the grain of the film to the setting of the CMOS to some setting for, I don't know, mate, that's Pascal's territory. I haven't got a clue. No idea. Right. Let's see how this turns out. That's pretty good. That's looking pretty good. So I think that's enough for the texture. I think in the next stream I'll probably get a bit of animation. I'll get the wheels turning. I'll probably put it on the McGround racetrack and then get a bit of motion blur on it. That's looking pretty awesome. It's looking pretty sweet. Right, mate, I think we're going to knock it on the head there. I think most people have sort of drifted away now. It's quarter past 10 UK time, 15 people left in. So, knock it on the head, mate. Have a go. Anyone had a go at the Infusion CAD challenge yet? It's picked out a couple of thousand people have had a look at that yet. I've only had 3 or 4 inputs. 3 or 4 people send in a submission. So yeah, it's looking good, that, like. It's not quite the right shade of red. In fact, it looks different on that TV than it does on my screen. Looks like a darker sort of scarlet colour on that, but on my screen it's more of a bright red. Never mind. I'm going to start on the weekend for the challenge. Yeah, there's still another 4 weeks left on it, so there's no hurry. But yeah, it's nearly 2,500 people watch that, and I've only had 3 or 4 inputs yet. I would have thought, honestly, would have thought by now I would have had a good few more people submit in, but no. But yeah, right. Thanks again for everyone turning up. Apologies for the failure on the flipping fucking super chat thing. Cheers, Pascal. I'll hopefully get the jingle ready for the next one. I don't know what's going on with that. But appreciate it. Yeah, I look forward to your video, mate. Much appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for turning up. I'll see you all in the next one. Toodle pip.